Hi, I'm Gonzalo, and I'll be your host for this presentation. I love Ontario. Today, I'm going to talk about Ontario, and also I'm going to talk about accessibilities for people with disabilities in Ontario. As I found looking for information about Ontario, it's amazing what I did find. I'm so proud I was born here in Toronto, and it's my home, and it's the nation's most popular city. Ontario, it is Canada's most popular province located in the east central Canada. People have lived in Ontario for at least 7,000 years. Ontario has many distinct native cultures and languages. In the north, the Algonquin, Cree, and Ojibwe people have traditionally fished and hunted. The first farmers in the south were Huron, Tobacco, Neutralists, and Iroquois. The Iroquois' 5 nations included the Seneca, Cayuga, Onondaga, Oneida, and Mohawk. The Tuscarora joined the 5 nations in 1722, and henceforth they were known as the 6 Nations. The Iroquois lived mostly in northern New York State until after the American Revolution, when many of them moved to Ontario as loyalists. Distinct native cultures and languages have continued and evolved to this day. The first Europeans to visit Ontario arrived by boat. French explorers Denis Brulé and Samuel de Champlain followed the St. Lawrence River into Lake Ontario in 1610 and 1615. Henry Hudson sailed into Ontario from the north and climbed the Hudson Bay area for Britain in 1611. Ontario is bordered Quebec on the east, Manitoba on the west, Hudson Bay and James Bay on the north, and St. Lawrence River and Great Lakes on the south. Ontario is divided into 2 regions, Northern Ontario and Southern Ontario. The name Ontario originates from native North Americans. In Huron, the word Ontari means lake and Io means beautiful. In Iroquois, Canadario means sparkling water. The word Ontario appeared in 1641 to describe lands along the eastern Great Lakes, and in 1867 the name was given to the province. In summer, temperatures can soar above 30 degrees Celsius, while in the winter they could drop to 40 degrees Celsius. The nation's capital is Ottawa, and it's located in Ontario. Ontario flag. The shield on the Ontario flag features the cross of St. George, which represents England, and 3 maple leaves, which represent Canada. The coat of arms contains the shield of arms for the province of Ontario. The shield was granted royal warrant by Queen Victoria in 1868. White trillium can be found in abundance in the most deciduous forest of Ontario from late April to early May. White blankets of these beautiful flowers cover the woodland floors for a few weeks over the year. The common loon. All common sights and sounds and around the many lakes and rivers of Ontario. The lonely hunting shooting call echoes across the evening waters and brings a person back to nature as no other sound can. The western white pine has been a major source of commerce and trade since the early days of the pioneer, and it makes a delightful Christmas tree too. The amethyst. The purple variety of colors comes in many variety shades of purple. The name itself is of Greek origin and means not drunken, possibly because it was once believed to have warned off the effects of alcohol, but it was more possibly that the name comes from the similarity of color to wine. It is common in areas in central Ontario and is a very popular gemstone. Geography. A variety of landscapes. It includes the vast rocky mineral-rich Canadian Shield, the fertile farmland in the south, and the grassy lowlands of the north. Economy. Ontario's economic life began with its natural resources like fall timber and minerals. Today, natural resources are still an important part of the economy in northern Ontario, while southern Ontario has become a manufacturing centre. Most Ontarians, 70%, however, are employed in the service industries such as businesses, finance, tourism, and culture. Minerals and mining. The first commercial oil well in North America was drilled at Oil Springs in Ontario, near Sarnia in 1858. Ontario produces more than $5 billion worth of minerals a year and ranks as the world's second largest producer of nickel. Ontario is also an important producer of gold, copper, zinc, platinum, palladium, cobalt, and silver, which come mainly from the Canadian Shield, which covers 2/3 of the province. Cities and towns. Each city and town in Ontario has a unique history and economic makeup. Agriculture and forestry. Farming and forestry have always been an important part of Ontario's economy. The province's farming past is rich with stories of success, hardship, innovation, and community spirit. From 1869, immigrants from the United Kingdom, Europe, and United States drawn to Ontario by offers of free land and hope for a better future. Manufacturing and construction. Henry Ford founded the Ford Motor Company in 1903, and the next year arranged for vehicles to be manufactured in Windsor, Ontario for the British Empire. 100 years later, Ontario has become the leading vehicle-producing region in North America, with shipments worth $63 billion in 2003 and more than 2.5 million production units in 2005. 7 of the world's largest vehicle manufacturers operate 14 plants in Ontario. Information and technology. Home of the popular BlackBerry mobile communication device, Waterloo, Ontario was recognized as the world's most intelligent community in 2007. With Ottawa and Toronto, the city of Waterloo forms part of Canada's technology triangle and is renowned for its strength in microelectronics, software, and telecommunications. People and culture. From southwest Ontario up to north, Ontario's multiculturalism creates a unique cultural heritage with diverse cities, languages, and historical sites. Cultures from around the world celebrate festivals in Ontario such as Caribbean Carnival Festival, Latin American Festival, Oktoberfest, and the Canadian Aboriginal Festival, Scottish Festival, Festival of Lights, Canadian National Exhibition Festival, International Film Festival, Harbourfront Indigenous Festival, Ice Sculpture Ottawa Festival, Ottawa Jazz Festival, Ottawa Canada Day, Historical Distillery District Jazz Festival, Little Italy Festival, Music Beaches Jazz Festival. Ontario has 272 provincial parks, 44 ski areas, 600 golf courses, the longest freshwater beach in the world on Georgian Bay, and the most diverse hunting and fishing in North America. More than 13 million people live in Ontario. Provincial authorities: Premier Dalton McGuinty, MPP Ottawa South Ontario Liberal Party; Will Wotton, MPP Etobicoke Lakeshore Ontario Liberal Party, Minister of Education, Minister responsible of women's issues. City authorities: Toronto City Mayor Rob Ford was elected Toronto's 64th mayor in October 2010. Prior of his election victory, Mayor Ford was the councillor of Etobicoke North of 10 years. Councillor Mark Grimes, Ward 6 Etobicoke Lakeshore. Making Ontario accessible. 1 in 7 people in Ontario have a disability. Over the next 20 years, that number will rise as the population ages, creating a province where every person who lives or visits can participate fully makes good sense for all people, businesses, and all communities. They go to work. They go shopping. They take in a movie and afterwards grab a bite to eat. They don't think twice about it. At least most of us don't. But that's not always the case for people with disabilities. Sometimes obstacles prevent them from doing things. These obstacles are barriers to accessibility. The Accessibility for Ontarians with Disability Act was passed in 2005. Here are some types of disabilities: vision, hearing, physical, intellectual, developmental, learning, mental health, speech or language, deaf-blind. It's also important to note that I'm talking about disabilities that people may have for a short time, a long time, or for their whole life. Accessible customer service is not about ramps or automatic door openers. It's about understanding that people with disability may have different needs. Accessibility simply means helping people with disabilities take part in life's activities. It's simple about understanding that people with disabilities may have different needs, and helping them can be easier as asking one simple question: how can I help you? To end this presentation, I would like to share with you that after I practiced reading hard, I do appreciate much of the land and the culture of Ontario. I would like to be a miner and work in the North Subway, or probably be as a farmer in the Niagara region, producing wine and playing drums. I do love Ontario.